probably aware already, your child's brain works differently. This is largely due to differences in executive functioning, which has a big impact in the classroom. In this lesson, we will talk about what the executive functions are and the important role that they play in the school setting. Simply put, executive functions are a set of skills that work together, kind of like the GPS of the brain. The purpose of the executive functions is to help us make a plan, stay on track, and complete our goals. They help us to do what we are supposed to do, and they help us inhibit or stop the things we aren't supposed to do.
If you think about the school day, your child is faced with tons of little mini goals throughout the day, like when the teacher says, okay, I want everyone to go get a whiteboard, dry erase marker, and eraser, and sit back down. These are little tasks where kids with ADHD can have a really hard time staying on track. They might get up to grab a whiteboard, but they notice that their water bottle isn't full. They immediately want to go fill up their water bottle, but the executive functions say, no, I can't do my water bottle now. I need to go get my whiteboard. The executive functions would also help your child remember that the teacher asked them to get more than just their whiteboard, but also their marker and eraser. And then they need to get back to their seat without stopping to chat or getting distracted by something in the classroom.
When your child has a diagnosis of ADHD, we know that there are significant differences in their executive functioning. In fact, research shows that your child has approximately a 30% delay in executive functioning skills. That means that if you have a 10-year-old child with ADHD, their executive functioning skills are more similar to a 7-year-old. Now, if you're really interested in learning more about executive functioning, we have an entire module on that in our online ADHD parenting course, Creating Calm. But in this course, we will focus on how executive functioning plays a significant role in your child's ability to be independent and regulated in the classroom.
When we break it down, executive functioning is something that school-age kids need to use all day. And to top it off, most tasks throughout your child's day require multiple executive functioning skills to be working simultaneously together. Let's take the example of completing a multi-step science project. Your child needs to use the skill of initiation to get started on the task. They need to use the skill of working memory to hold in their mind the multiple steps involved and supplies they need to reach their goal. They need to use the skill of planning to find the best way to finish that project. They need to use the skill of task monitoring to frequently check in with themselves and make sure they are still on task toward the final goal. Phew, it's a brain workout for our children with ADHD.
Executive functions are also needed in the classroom to stay flexible when plans change, like when there is a substitute teacher or a fire drill throws off their schedule. Executive functions are needed to inhibit off-task behavior, like resisting the urge in the moment to stand up and sharpen their pencil when they should be sitting quietly as their teacher provides instruction. Executive functions are needed to help manage time and schedules. Kids with ADHD often struggle to predict how long tasks will take, which can lead to overwhelm. They may hyper-focus on certain tasks and not realize that the entire class has moved on. Executive functions are needed to get started on challenging, boring, repetitive tasks. Hello, math facts. Executive functions are needed to stay calm and manage emotions when they don't get picked first at recess or when their team loses a game.
The executive functions are needed all day, every day at school. No wonder our kids are coming home exhausted. We're about to dive into a bunch of accommodations to support your child with ADHD at school. Something that we want to make clear is that accommodations do not give your child with ADHD an unfair advantage. We're providing necessary supports because their brains work differently than their classmates. Their executive functions are still growing and developing. Accommodations level the playing field so that your child can start off on the same foot as everyone else.